needs to be clarified. And as the president has said, by the way, get all the answers on the table fast, or it's just going to be dogging him for the whole second term.
We have a lot to talk about this morning. I want to talk a little bit about the election now that we've had a chance to kind of sink in and think about it. John, I know you've been doing a lot of reporting out in Ohio since the election.
I just didn't get enough of Ohio during the election, so I had to make some more calls about it. I mean, they didn't see it coming. The Romney campaign did not see it coming. I talked to several people, and they said we weren't just cautiously optimistic on election night. We were optimistic. When they found out they'd lost, another person said it was like a death in the family. So how did they get it wrong? And Ohio is a good place to look for that. Basically, they didn't see that the president was going to be able to do with minority voters, Hispanics and African Americans in Ohio. The question is really more about African Americans. They just didn't think he'd have the turnout that he did. And they just missed it. And when people would raise the question and say, you know, all these public polls are suggesting the president's doing pretty well, the senior staff would say, they would just dismiss those polls and say, these polls are sampling Democrats too heavily. That's just not the way this election's going to turn out. And they just missed it. And they also, though, there were two other things in Ohio. If you look at the counties where Romney did well relative to George Bush in 2004, he did well in the coal counties, where they were able to effectively use the president's policies about coal against him. Where did he do poorly? In the auto counties. Yeah. And that, you see it in the turnout. And then I think finally the Obama campaign was effective in turning Romney into a symbol of all the things in the economy that had hurt people in the middle class. He was using outsourcing. He was using offshoring. They painted him not just as a bad guy, but as the kind of bad guy who had led to the economic situation that a lot of these people were in.